I mean, how have you guys been, while you were in lockdown? How did you kind of keep things exciting and fun, like doing date nights at home, and what were kind of some of those things that you guys did?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of start to get creative in certain ways. In LA, prior to moving here, we had an awesome rooftop area. So we would go up there and cook a meal and go sit on the roof and kind of watch the sunset, do things like that. We'd go on drives, we'd go up to Malibu and watch the sunset and do as much as you humanly can without pushing the limits. When it's come to Charleston, I mean, our filming times are just insane and we work a lot. So we try to find time on the weekends to sit down and have a little bit more of a formal dining experience. But, it's tough, but we just try to, get out of our comfort zone and push each other to kind of find ways to make it exciting and entertaining.
Yeah, you definitely have to. You got to keep it exciting, especially during these times.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's the most surprising thing that you guys learned about each other during this time? Because, it's a lot of togetherness. It tests a lot of relationships.
Sure.
So, what was kind of the most surprising thing, and what was the most challenging thing for you both?
I'm fortunate that in my relationship, especially with Maddie, she's such a sweet human being and she's so great with communication. So a lot of the things that we established through lockdown, we had kind of already known about each other. Mm-hmm. And because we're so open with one another about, whether it's being a little bit emotional or, as I've talked about in the past with my mental health struggles, just talking about that and having a partner who's willing to kind of meet you in the middle. And when she's having her down days, talk about that. It's just been a special thing. I mean, not only is she, my partner in crime, she's become my best friend on planet Earth. And it's just awesome to kind of go through such a tumultuous time in the world with somebody that not only do you trust, but you love and you care about them. And you're kind of experiencing this whole weird counterproductive sense of joy because we're working and we're so fortunate to have a job during this time. Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot of negatives in that and kind of experiencing the lockdown and what comes with that and the mental health aspect. Mm-hmm. But also a lot of joy. I mean, this season is so exciting and, I can't give away too much about the show, but I'm super excited for the world to see it because performances and story are just out of this world. And we've been kind of keeping our heads down and just working our tails off. So
yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I mean, we're going to talk more about the show in a minute, but was there anything that you guys learned that bothered you about each other? Because I know, like, with my husband, like, he never puts the dishes in the dishwasher, even though it's right next to the sink. Was there anything that, like, Maddie does?
That's hilarious. Yeah, we've had that same conversation where it's like, hey, it's right there. Right. Can you please just put it away? But no, like, I feel like I'm cheating the system by saying this, but we have a really, really healthy relationship. And because we're able to communicate about these things, it never really turns into an argument. Mm-hmm. Like in New Girl, there's this episode where everybody has their own pogo. And I'm sure she probably has a few of mine. I think I'm probably lower on the scale than her. But no, it's been, I think really it's just the communication about everything and being able to be open about, like, mm-hmm. Hey, I don't like when you leave the dishes on the countertop, or, hey, I just folded your laundry for the 4th time, help a brother out type of thing. But it's such a quick fix and everything just sort of molds and mends itself. So I really, honestly, we haven't had any like major bickering matches or arguments throughout this period, which is crazy to say because I felt like this was going to be a tumultuous time and we were going to have each other at our, each other's throats, especially, with filming and everything going on in the world. So I'm just super blessed. I mean, I've got a great partner. She's my work colleague too. So we get to do so many good things together and it's been a joy.
You are here to give us some relationship tips on something that probably a lot of couples are struggling with, and that is different diets. I know my husband and I deal with the same thing. So what is your number one tip to dealing with this?
I think communication. Communication seems to be key in pretty much every aspect of a relationship. But for myself, I'm not a traditional vegan or vegetarian. So I'm always kind of trying to find ways to expand my palate or try new, food options. And that's kind of why this partnership with Sweet Earth has been so great because they give, creative food options that are available that a lot of other brands don't give. And especially during this pandemic where it's so hard to find high quality food options or you're spending so much money on, food delivery services. It's just made it so great.
Yeah, definitely. How do you and Madelyn compromise when it comes to food? And do you disagree on a lot of things?
Ooh, actually we don't. We weirdly have this weird psychic ability to kind of read into each other and be like, what are you feeling? And then it just sort of happens. And then, with the filming process, it just makes everything a little bit more difficult because we have restraints on what we can and can't do, just to stay as safe as possible with COVID. So throughout the last 6 months and being, essentially locked down, we've sort of mind melded a little bit. And so now it's become a lot easier than probably would have outside of, the work environment.
Yeah. Who's a better cook?
Ooh, I'm going to be a good boyfriend and say her.
That is good.
No, she actually is. She has some really incredible dishes that she does. And on top of that, she's really great. So sometimes she'll do things that aren't strictly to her vegan diet, and she'll cook me something. Like she made like a Thai curry fish dish the other night, which was fantastic. And obviously she can't eat it, but she likes to look and stare and smell at it and watch me enjoy it. So
that is a good girlfriend to do that.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
And I know that you have plans for Valentine's Day. You were hosting this live Q&A, right? And a speed dating event. So
I am.
Please tell me all about that and how people can enter and get involved.
Sure. So I'm going to be speaking with Damona Hoffman, and she is fantastic. It'll be February 10th on Wednesday. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we're just going to kind of go over what it's like being in in an environment like what we're in now, and how that sort of restraint has affected people in the diet space, and how myself and Maddie have found sort of a way to keep it exciting and engaging, and especially with Valentine's Day and everybody still predominantly locked down, how we can make it fun and how, you can still keep that spark alive even though the world is still sort of shut down. Definitely. So it'll be exciting. We're going to do a Q&A. Fans can enter some questions, and if they've got things they want to ask, we'll be answering those live. So it'll be awesome.